Hey everybody, welcome back. I'm Jesse, your DM.
Cody playing Lazarus.
Brennan playing Dis.
Mike playing Nim.
Britt playing Kenna.
And we are Double Doubles and Dragons. We're a group of goofy Canadians that have gotten together to play a little D&D. Sometimes we will say things that are inoffensive. We mean them as jokes, of course, and they're certainly funny to us, but some people may find this offensive. If you do, we apologize, but we don't want any hate mail about it. So just don't listen, okay? Let's jump right into the action. Welcome back, everybody. So, quick recap. Everybody's getting ready to deal with Wallace. We've seen that he appears to have eaten the 5 mages that were channeling magic into him. He seems to maybe weigh a little less, but be no less large. And the party has managed to send Dis outside to contact Lil and, set up some contingency plans. Dis is just returning to the party to catch them up on what he's told Lil to do, and then I think we're ready to go. So, Dis, you can take it from there.
So, Lil's going to be sending guards over here. She's going to talk to Strain. We're going to head over. She also said Mary grew like a foot while we were gone. Like in a day. She's growing like a foot or like a foot and a half. So, we probably need to keep an eye on that. Maybe register for the WNBA, I'm not sure.
Oh my god.
And, but it doesn't seem like this is widespread. It doesn't seem like people are becoming monsters everywhere. At least not that she was aware of, but she's going to have some people look too. Especially around the warehouse. Or where the warehouse formerly was. So we do have backup on the way. Some amount of time.
Alright, well, should we wait for the backup to get closer, or do we want to just...
I think we should run in and then just be ready to run away if we need to wait for a backup. Also,
I don't think we should engage him as soon as we walk in.
I think we should talk. Like, how you doing?
I don't know what I'm saying.
Yeah, let's just go in and be like, you feeling alright?
You could use it to get closer.
Yeah. I think so. Me and him could just act like nothing's gone wrong. We're back to report.
Except all the carnage everywhere.
We're just gonna be like, so it seems like stuff happened here, but we got a story for you. And then we'll just have a safe word and you guys come busting in.
I think he'll expect us to be with you.
Yeah, I think we should all just go in at once.
And then we'll just talk anyhow.
We'll just talk.
Alright, let's go. I think that's a good idea.
Straight through the front then.
Yeah, front door or balcony doors?
Well, if we're going to talk, we should make it seem normal, so we should come through the front doors, I think.
It's true.
Okay. Alright, you guys make your way around the house. I assume outside, maybe just come in through the main front doors, rather than go through the dead bodies in the inside. Up to you, of course.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's not like there's not dead bodies in the main atrium anyways.
That's true. Okay, so you guys make your way around. You're at the foot of the stairs. Took a little while to get there because of the big hole in the floor, but, I mean, you're there. You're at the staircase.
Okay. Head on up the stairs.
Okay, you're on the landing. Doors are closed, as they, almost always are.
Should we knock?
I knock on the door.
Okay. Dis gives it a quick... What's the knock sound like? Like, what kind of knock are you going for?
It's a weird knock.
There's
Don't judge me.
There's about 30 seconds of silence before you hear through the door, "Come in."
Open the door.
Looks like he's lucid.
And head in with everybody.
Okay, so as you open the doors, it's much as Kenna described. There are the corpses, the mages, there are still the women and some of the other help nailed to the walls. The room has become slightly blood-soaked on the floor. Not entirely. There are plenty of clear areas, but it's become a little gross, especially near the walls and stuff as people kind of drain, so to speak. But yeah, you open the door, and Wallace is sitting there on his lounge chair. He definitely looks different. As you walk in, his face has kind of shrunk in size inwards a little, and he's got a much more pronounced nose, almost pig-like. It's left him with kind of a sloping face, and while he maintains that largeness in his stomach region, he now has muscle bands across that stomach, like somebody who spray painted a six-pack onto a really fat guy. But it's not spray paint. Like, there's definitely the muscles there.
Little Wallace, you're looking good.
So he just kind of leans back and reaches out one hand. I wondered when you would return to talk.
Of course, we have things to report from the warehouse.
Well, then please, come forward. Give me your reports.
All right, and I step forward with him.
Okay. What, are the two of you moving forward
I'll
as
keep
well?
them in my
Kenna and
aura.
Lazarus? Okay, so coming forward will
I'll be
just...
10 feet behind.
Alright. You get about halfway through the room. That should be sufficient. And he just kind of waves his hand and the door closes behind you. Sensitive topics.
Of course. So, Nim and I went to the warehouse in the south.
So I
As you had
heard.
requested, we met Master Discomfort there. But as we entered the place, there was an attack, and I'm sorry to report, but Master Discomfort has been slain.
Terrible.
Yes.
Terrible that he should be dead.
I've been led to believe from our companions here that at the same time there was an attack upon your palace.
Yes, there was. Some
So-
assassins snuck in and tried to kill me, of all people.
Glad to see that they failed.
Oh, I took care of it. It will not happen again.
As I'd expect. Nim and I had found that after we'd learned from Lazarus and Kenna that there was an attack here, Nim and I looked around a bit to see if we could find the source of the assassins and who attacked Master Discomfort.
And did you?
We did. We did find out who had attacked. We believe it's... I go to step a little bit closer,
Okay.
as if it's a bit quieter.
Okay.
I want to see how close I can get before he just says no.
He doesn't seem to be stopping you from moving forward.
I'll get as close as I can then. Right next
you
to
could,
him.
Yeah, you could get... He's not stopping you at all.
When we get close, I'm going to whisper into his ear. I go, it's the Thieves Guild.
He sort of nods, that now very pig-like face. I see.
I'll step back after I say that. In space.
So the Thieves Guild. And then, I presume you came here to tell me what you had found, yes?
Of course. This was the job.
You must have been very frightened by how things looked here.
Not really. I've seen a lot of dead bodies.
I see. It took you a long time to come from the front gate to here. I mean, it was reported to me you were at the front gate some hours ago.
We met some trouble on the way.
I see. What sort of trouble?
Oh, I'm sure you've heard of it, but there seemed to be some monsters downstairs that we had to deal with before making it to report. They slowed
I
us.
see. You are quite right. There have been some employment issues over the last hour or so. But you took care of them, yes?
The ones that got in our way, yes.
I see. And the sleeping in the pantry and hiding out under the balcony?
All a matter of investigating further the goal of these thieves.
I understand. I appreciate the effort you put in, but it is unnecessary. You see, I can now see almost everything that happens in my manor. Right through the walls, as if they weren't even there. It's fantastic.
It does sound like something that would be fantastic.
So tell me, Dis. I'm left unsure of what to do with your little group. On the surface of things, you appear to have served me well. But I can't argue that I've lost a significant investment at the warehouse. I've lost Master Discomfort, who was the only man I know of that was capable of making the vial of blue powder your little friend hides in his pocket. So as you can see, my organization has been fairly disrupted.
That would make sense. Hence why we investigated farther.
I see. Very well then, Dis. I will make you a deal. I will let you and your little friends leave this room alive if you can look at me right now and tell me that you had nothing to do with Master Discomfort's end.
I want to get right up into... I'm just going to get totally zone truth here, but I'm going to get totally up in his face, look him right in the eyes.
We had nothing to do with Master Discomfort's death.
Roll deception.
I was the wrong guys! Inspiration.
Mine worked. Let's see if yours works.
Oh, that was so close.
Deception?
Yep.
18?
Okay. He looks at you in silence for what feels like forever, before leaning back ever so slightly in his chair. Very well. Just one more thing, then. The blue vial stays with me. And you may go.
Shit.
Come now, Dis, this can't be that hard. You have no use for it, I'm sure.
Well, it was helping us continue our investigation.
You don't need to worry about that. I'll handle the investigation from here on out.
I want to... So how many dead bodies are on the floor?
5 wizards on the floor, the rest are on the walls.
I want to... How close am I to everybody else? So I'm right beside him.
You said you moved pretty close to him. Did you back up after
Yeah, I
that?
backed up after I told him.
Okay.
And I looked him in the eyes and I would have backed up afterwards when he started talking again, keeping that safe distance between us that he wanted me to stay at originally, but moving in when I
Okay.
can take advantage of it.
Then, yeah, you'd be next to Nim.
And then Lazarus and Kenna are 10 feet behind me, so Lazarus can keep me in his aura.
I believe that was the plan, yes.
I want to look at all the bodies on the floor and in my head try to sacrifice them all.
Okay.
Goal to make a lot of flies, and I want to try to back everybody out.
He's just gonna make a giant smoke screen.
Okay. That seems fair. So, you, in your mind, go to sacrifice these people. And nothing happens.
None of them? None on the ground? I want to try the walls, too.
Okay. You go to cast it on the walls. When you cast it on the bodies, there was that moment when you kind of can feel it activate, but it seems pharaohed in some way. It just doesn't work. You feel it activate like it normally would on a dead body, but something about their bodies doesn't allow the sacrifice to continue. On the walls, you go to sacrifice and the magic doesn't start at all, which usually only happens if they're still alive.
Is there any reaction from Wallace when I did that mentally?
He's watching you very closely, but he doesn't make any outward reactions. But he's staring at you fairly intently.
The vials that the powder are in, they're clear vials, right?
They are. Dis, please. Give me the vial, and everyone can go home.
Well,
You certainly have no use for it, do you?
of course not.
Roll deception.
21.
Okay. Continue.
So these... So these vials. The only two vials we have that look exactly like they have the same container are the blue and the red powder. We don't have like extras that are in the same shapes as them.
Nothing that you've acquired.
Like
They
it's a
have a
unique.
specific shape.
Okay.
Yeah. What's everybody else doing in the room while Dis has been doing this?
Nim's just been like nodding along with everything that Dis has been saying. Like, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, like
Yeah,
that guy.
that's what-
He's got
that's
the
what
right
happened.
idea. What about the two of you at the back? Looking at anything in particular, or doing anything of any particular kind? Dis and Nim, by their own admission, have been very focused on Wallace.
Mm-hmm.
Where are you guys? What are you guys doing?
Taking in the room.
In what way?
What's the smell factor in the room?
Pretty clean, actually.
So that would get me curious, because I've been in here and it smells like
Oh,
that.
absolutely. It was fairly bad.
And everything on the walls appears to be dead.
It did when you walked in.
It doesn't look like now.
Perception check.
$20.
Okay. You look around. The things on the walls do appear to be dead. Are you checking your way? Like, are you looking behind you, or are you trying to keep Wallace in your sight?
I think I'd be sneakily looking everywhere.
Okay. So you notice that the doors behind you didn't close because of some magic Wallace has. He's never demonstrated that to you. What you do notice is several of the bodies above the door have reached down and are holding the door closed.
Noticing that, can I check into the bodies on the wall where I'm standing
Looking for what?
to see if they might have not be totally dead either?
None of them are moving, but you've seen the result of some of them moving. Like, they're holding the door closed. They couldn't have possibly done that before.
I would try to make Lazarus aware.
Okay. In what way?
I would lean over to get his attention, hopefully. Not all the way over, but just like move as if I'm
Okay.
trying to talk to him. And then move my eyes up.
Okay.
Back.
I mean, Lazarus is just, for the most part, Lazarus has been trying not to look any bit readable, because, like, especially after his perception against Lazarus outside, Lazarus is just like, don't give anything away. I
Okay.
guess I'll just kind of like,
Yeah, you would see the same thing she has.
so I'm just like, for the moment.
I kept the meat that I was experimenting on.
Okay.
It should have been nullified.
No, not nullified.
Yeah, because I thought I hit it with the blue at the last step. I was trying to wipe out any presence.
It's no longer red, but it's not been nullified.
Oh, so the magic's still in the meat.
Yes. Or no, sorry. What I mean is it hasn't been completely devoided of magic like Nim saw with some of the
so it's a
bodies.
normal piece of meat.
Yes, it's a normal piece of meat now.
And that's in my bag.
Yes.
Like, all right, we don't have a need for the blue powder. I walk over, or I'll hold my hand out for Nim to hand me the blue powder. I'll take it, and I'm just going to put it, like, walk closer, put it in my bag,
Mhm.
as if I'm just like putting it in, or like I'm trying to grab something else out of there, just making it look awkward, basically, but not
Okay.
giving him a reason to figure out what exactly I'm doing on there.
But nevertheless to be suspicious.
Yeah, like it's a little bit suspicious. He'll be eyeing me up a little bit.
Yeah, I would say so.
But I'm watching to see if he's, like, as I step closer, if he's still more interested in the blue powder anyhow than caring about what I'm even trying to do. Just watching his
Well, I
level
mean, you
of...
put the blue powder into the bag.
Yeah, I'm
So,
watching
I mean,
to see
he's
his level...
watching the bag.
Yeah. So I'm going to get closer again.
Okay.
Close to the table.
As you approach, he puts one meaty hand up.
I'll stop.
He just kind of looks at you for a moment. And instead of talking, you hear his voice. Like it's coming from in between your ears. Don't do anything foolish, Dis. We can all walk away from this happy. I really hate to have to test my newfound abilities on you.
I just nod at him. I walk closer. And I reach my hand into the bag to pull out the blue vial, but instead I want to grab the meat.
Okay.
Just going to toss it out mid-air in front of him. I want to try to sacrifice it.
Okay, fair. So yeah, you toss the meat, and I mean, he definitely, he looks at the meat.
I toss it right at his face.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay. And yeah, you sacrifice, and it does, as usual, just burst into, not like a huge cloud of flies, it's just a bit of meat. But, yeah, and for a moment he kind of grips at his face, trying to get the meat goo and bugs off.
And while he does that, I just want to go right behind him and go for a stab on the neck.
Okay.
As soon as Nim sees Dis going, as soon as he sees Dis throw the meat, Nim wants to cast haste on him.
Okay. Are you trying to stealthily cast haste? And at what moment did you cast haste?
Because you need 6 seconds to do it.
But you don't need 6 seconds to do it.
It's VSM, so I can't really, unless
Yeah,
I'm a
you can't
sorcerer,
really stealth.
I can't.
What I'm trying to figure out is when the haste lands.
Oh, yeah.
Because obviously if he detects him casting magic, his guard's going to be higher than...
So I think the whole point of it was I was tossing the meat, and the timeline was I toss it, I sacrifice at the same time, because Nim's going to kind of realize what I'm doing when I toss random meat out, or I'd assume he was on to me.
At the very least, he'd be like, well, I assume now would be the
and
time.
then, probably cast it on me as a way to use the meat and the magic that comes from the sacrifice as a distraction.
Okay. I like it. Everybody roll for initiative. And then the way that this works, the way that we'll do this is Nim will get his cast off, so you'll be hasted, and your attack will be surprise.
Right.
So, and it's a surprise to them as well, because I assume Lazarus and Kenna had no idea what you were doing. So Nim will get his haste off as his surprise, you will get your strike as a surprise, and that'll be that first round. So Wallace won't get an action, but neither will Kenna or Lazarus.
Right.
And then it'll start from there. Because that's more or less how sneak attack works.
Hmm?
Or not sneak attacking, getting a surprise attack works. Okay. Yeah. Everybody roll for initiative, and let's see what happens. Did everybody roll already?
Canada did, yeah.
Okay,
That's a solid initial
over
roll.
20. Okay.
And this dice didn't retire.
Over 15. Really? Shit. Over 10.
10.
Also
11.
10.
Okay. What about Kenna?
Nim was 11, Kenna was 7.
Okay, so
11,
Nim
10,
first with 11,
Good thing I sneaked.
and then Lazarus and Dis choose amongst yourselves.
This makes sense for just you.
Yeah.
Okay, so Dis with 10, then Lazarus with 10, and then what did you say? Kenna was 7?
7, yeah.
Okay. So, since Kenna just ran off to the bathroom for a second, let me give you just a general idea of what you're dealing with here in terms of the room layout. Okay, so this is his room. You guys are down here at the doors. So here are the doors that you came in. Here are the doors back here. The room is more or less the size of our battle map, with a couple of notable exceptions. The first being his lounge chair, which takes up about this much room.
Huge.
The raised set of stairs are right here. So up here, there's just a small increase. It's not even a full 5-foot raise, but it just is slightly higher there. There are 2 couches on this side, and on this side is a set of bookshelves that extends almost the full duration in both directions. Like that. The middle of the room has been kept fairly open for people to be received. One difference is there is a carpet leading from the door up to the stairs. It doesn't in any way impede your progress or anything. There just happens to be a carpet there. And that's more or less the gist of the room. So place yourselves as you were. With, I believe, Dis and Nim being more to the front, Kenna and Lazarus being more to the back.
Flare, 10 feet.
Yep. So place yourself down. It's up to you how close you get. I mean, there's no wrong answers here.
I don't know how. There-ish?
Well, because you were really close, weren't you?
Yeah, because I'm...
Well, Dis is going to be right behind him in a second.
Where were we?
I thought you were going to be closer, Nick?
So the walls, by the way, are the edge of the map, so there is some space behind these couches, and outside of that, it's fairly clean.
Closer?
Yeah, I thought you were way closer.
You were this.
Yeah. Yeah, like there.
By the way, the empty vials are kind of in this area and this area. There's loose dishes. Basically, anything directly in front of him I would consider difficult terrain, just because of the loose dishes and that kind of stuff. But the rest of it is more or less okay. There are a couple of plants, potted plants, here, 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 and here.
It would be fun to upload.
Okay. So,
Now, how big is your Wallace token?
well, it's the biggest token I have. This big shark guy. But I mean, like, he takes up the whole thing. So, it's not too far off of his approximate size. Okay, so, the way that this is going to work is, so the battle flow goes Wallace, Nim, Dis, Lazarus, Kenna. First round is surprise attack, so obviously Wallace can't take an action. Nim's action is to haste. So give me your haste card, just so I know you've got concentration going. Thank you. For Nim. And then it would be Dis's turn. So, Dis, you'll get to take your action. Then it would be Lazarus and Kenna, but because the attack itself was a surprise to you guys as well, you won't get to act that first round either, and then we'll begin the round for real the next round. With Wallace. Okay. While he's doing that, is there anything anybody wants to clarify about the room you're fighting in? Any questions you want to ask? Things you think might be to your advantage later? Ask them now.
Sure. So all these people are attached around the wall with all these spikes.
Around the walls, above the main door, and above the French doors as well. They basically carpet every visible piece of wall.
Okay. Anything above chandeliers, ornaments, like drapes?
Yes, sorry. So the ceiling raises about 60 feet.
Okay.
So it is a fairly high ceilinged room. And up there are 2 large glass chandeliers. One more or less directly above the door itself on your way in. The other is not directly above Wallace, but kind of directly above where people would group up in front of him. So, more or less here and here.
And they're big.
Fairly large. They're meant to be ornate and decorative. They have a bit of gold leaf on them. Some, not like actual gems, but you know that glass that you can make kind of look like gems? Anything else?
The people that are secured to the wall, how are they secured?
They've all been staked there.
Like how though? Like through their wrists?
No specific pattern, just nailed in whatever was convenient at the time. So some of them through the torso, some of them through the legs, some of them through the hands. It's just whatever they could get their hands on while they were squirming around.
Okay.
I would note the 2 bookcases on the left side of the room. There's no bodies on them, but there are bodies around them. The bookcases were left untouched because they don't technically butt against the wall. There is a small space behind them. Not really big enough for a person, but just a little bit of room back there, so they're not right against the wall.
Okay.
Anything else while this is thinking?
Well, first, I dodged the bookcase.
Divination. Okay, in that case then, I think, Dis, it's your time to see what you can do.
Do I have advantage on all these first attacks, right? Because he doesn't expect
Because
them?
he's surprised. Yes.
Yep. We'll go for an attack.
Okay, go for it.
That would be a 21.
That's a hit. I think. Hang on, yes.
Okay, I'm going
Oh,
to
dear.
goading attack.
Okay. I mean, you do sneak attack him at the back of the neck. Probably pretty... I'm not even going to ask how you make it a goading attack. It seems pretty goading.
Yeah.
So that would be 14 damage.
Okay.
And he has to roll against a 16 DC Wisdom saving throw
Okay.
for the goading.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. With wisdom, you say. That is a solid 8.
He fails, so he needs.
So,
So
yeah.
he has disadvantage on attacking somebody other than me
Correct.
until the end of my next turn.
Yes.
I'm going to attack you now.
Okay, go ahead. That one, I always forget how the surprise works, but I feel like you set up, like, how to get him surprised pretty good, so I'm not going to get too anal about technically only the first attack is a surprise. I think you've got that first turn.
Yeah, because these attacks are like multi-attacks almost.
Yeah, and like I said, you set it up pretty good. He's got flies all over his face, he's not really sure where you went. I feel like with that kind of setup, I can give you the advantage both times.
This is a 26 hit.
It's a hit.
I'm going to sneak attack this one.
Mhm.
17.
Okay, 17. Doing math. Okay.
I'm going to bonus action attack again.
Okay. It's just hammering.
25.
Hit.
Wonder. I'm going to trip attack.
He's already laying down.
Oh, okay. So he's on his side.
Yeah.
I will
He's
not.
lounging on the chair.
Okay, I will not trip attack.
Not that I'm saying you couldn't, I'm just like, how are you even tripping him? His feet ain't even on the ground.
He's cutting out the chair.
If you're cutting out the bottom of the chair so his butt just falls through, so he's like stuck in the chair.
I like the idea, but that'd be a targeted attack, not a trip attack.
That'd be a good one for Nim. He's short enough to get under there.
There you go, Nim. Your next few
Like, I want to be
turns.
under the chair one.
That's true.
I've got it!
It's not.
7 damage on the last.
7? Okay.
And yeah.
Yeah.
And then I action such. Actually. No. I'm going to move.
And he can't opportunity you because of Swashbuckler.
Also hasn't had a turn.
Yes.
5,
his reaction.
10, 20.
Well, no, we already blew past his turn of surprise. But yeah, it'd be
Reaction on a
questionable.
surprise.
Remember, anything that's drawn there is difficult terrain, so just make sure you count accordingly.
Oh, okay.
That's a big pile of vials.
5, 10, 20, 25, 30, 40, 50, 55. Right. 55, 60. Actually, 60. That works, right? 5, 10, 20,
25, 30, 40, 50, 55, 60 hours.
Well, then my turn there.
Okay. So, to recap, Dis throws the stake, hits it with the sacrifice, the flies just swarm all over Wallace's face. In that moment where he's kind of like, ugh, Dis slips behind him and just goes ham on the back of the dude. He, like, stabs and stabs again, then stabs a third time. And each time you cut, you definitely feel that resistance where, like, it's like cutting into, like, thick leather when you're trying to chop into him. Then you very quickly slip around the side of him, you know, step through the big pile of empty vials and mage parts, and kind of get more to the front side of the room. Okay. Lazarus and Kenna, it would be your turn, but it's a surprise to you as well that this kind of just went ham. So we will finish that round and start the main first round of combat. So, that is Wallace's turn.
Hold on. You tasted, didn't you?
I missed, yeah.
Yeah, you used both attack actions?
Yeah.
Okay. Jesus. I thought you had...
Regular attack, the haste attack, bonus action
Oh, you don't
attack.
have extra attack.
He doesn't have multi-attack.
Yeah.
Not real multi-attack.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Wallace just kind of, like, he groaned a little bit when you were slashing into him, but as you slip around the side, the groans slip from kind of groans of pain to more of, like, a release feeling. You just kind of, oh, that's so much better. And you watch as these two little wings slip out from behind the back of his neck through the holes you've cut. He just kind of cracks his neck to each side. Oh, that's better. Thank you, Dis. I was worried those were never gonna come all the way out like they were supposed to. And you watch as they flap once and he levitates off the chair. Okay. Now we can have a little fun, right? I assume I'm not getting the vial.
Fuck you!
All right, that seems fair. And he floats that 5 feet off the ground that his chair already is.
Hi.
And he just kind of floats into the center of all of you. All right. I've been waiting to give this a try, and you watch as his entire body shudders for a second. Lazarus covers his nose. But it's actually not a smell or a blackness that comes out of him. He erupts with red light. Everybody, I need a wisdom save.
Ooh, I guess everybody except Dis gets me.
Yeah, Dis would
We
be
get
too far
+5.
away, but everybody else gets +5.
Why?
Because I have that notion that never comes up.
Until now. Sorry, Constitution?
No, wisdom.
Wisdom. I was like, zooming out. Oh dear.
Take that roll.
Oh, that's not good.
It's on the floor.
No floor.
But it was a 17!
Floor rolls never count.
Yeah, it's not good.
The looks I get. Okay. How did we do?
11.
11? So fail. Nim?
It was +5.
From Lazarus.
Yeah.
That's 22 for Nim.
Succeed.
I did the math wrong. Sorry.
We'll skip Kenna then.
Yeah.
Dis.
13.
Fail.
Oh, 18.
18. Succeed. Okay, so the two of you that failed, that red light, as it hits you, you see his entire body sundering apart as all of these faces of people that he's killed just pull out of his stomach fat and start reaching for you. And in that moment, you know true terror of the grave, and you are both frightened for a minute. You can attempt to be unfrightened. You can repeat the save at the end of each of your turns. It doesn't take an action, but it does have to be the end of your turn. While you are frightened, you get the normal frightened stuff. You have disadvantage on ability checks and attack rolls while the source of the fear is within line of sight, and you cannot willingly move closer to the source of your fear. So, sorry, that was Lazarus is frightened and Dis is frightened. To those of you that succeeded the save, it's just a red light, and you kind of shake it off, and there's nothing really strange about it.
Oh wait, is this? Charm is not a fright.
No, they're two separate attacks. Or they're two separate statuses. Okay. As he finishes radiating that red glow, you watch as his body kind of shrinks down, and that muscle tone that you saw becomes more prevalent throughout his entire body. He just sort of looks over. Now, Dis, you were very rude to me earlier, and I think it's time to pay you back for that. So, on top of that AoE Frighten, he can still do 1 bite and 2 claw attacks.
Okay.
So I'll roll those now. We'll do the bite first, which is probably a miss, 16.
That's missed.
And then the 2 claws.
I'm representing?
On the bite? Sure. Go ahead. I mean, technically we can wait until the attack resolves, but I don't think it'll matter one way or the other.
Just in case the claws murder him.
I mean, fair.
23.
Hit.
Sneak attack.
Okay.
Don't
don't forget it's disadvantage because you're frightened. The attack roll.
Disadvantage all the way through? Hold on.
Yeah, because the frightened creature has disadvantage on ability checks and attack rolls while the source of their fear is within their line of sight.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I forgot that messes with your sneak attack.
No, I just wasted a bunch of shit for nothing. Can't even do it.
You can still attack. It's just...
Damn it. It was a hit.
Okay.
Damage would have been a crit. I can't sneak attack. And this is a rip. So that's 11 damage.
Okay.
And remember, when he's attacking, you have +2 AC for his.
Yeah, I already calculated that one.
Okay. Okay. And then the 2 claw attacks will finish.
Yep.
28 and 25.
Yeah, they hit.
Oh boy.
Okay.
Nice knowing you, buddy.
36 damage.
2-6, yeah.
Yikes.
So I'm less than half. One more of those and I'm dead.
How much?
36.
Okay, so he does the AoE Frighten, he goes to make the bite, and more out of pure fear reflex than anything, you end up dodging out of the way of it. But the 2 claws, he has a longer reach on his claws than he does with his bite. So as you back out of the way of the bite, the claws both still hit you from the sides.
Gotcha.
He stays there, floating about 5 feet off the ground. And that is the end of his turn. Outside of maybe chuckling to himself. He seems pretty pleased with himself overall. I will note, same thing with the Ripazay attack, it did half damage. Just so, obviously, we're aware of the consistency. That's it, so Nim.
What do?
Nim, do you still have the blue vial, or does Dis have it?
Dis has it.
Dis has it, okay. I guess while Nim is thinking, does anybody have any other questions about the room or what he's done, like where he is, anything like that that'll help you with your turns?
So he's floating?
Yes. He's using his little wings to hover off the ground.
How far off the ground?
About 5 feet.
Somewhere between two things. Okay, I'm gonna go defensive, and I'm just gonna cast Mirror Image on myself because it's non-concentrations.
Okay. So Nim suddenly turns into several Nims, all bending out of his body like, ho, 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 ho. It's probably kind of annoying.
Oh, it's very annoying.
Anything else from Nim?
I mean, can I just add? My other plan was to use Mage Hand and poke him in the butt and see if that would give him disadvantage on at least one attack.
Mage Hand's a cantrip?
It is.
Okay, so it'd take an action.
I know, I'm just saying that was my other plan.
Ah, I gotcha.
But you don't have to answer that.
Okay, that is Nim's turn then. Dis. So you're frightened, but you don't have to move away. You just can't move any closer.
I'll make a attempt at getting rid of it.
It happens at
actually-
the end of your turn.
Oh, at the end of my turn.
Yeah,
I can make
it happens automatically at the end of your turn, so
Oh.
you do the rest of your turn as per normal.
Just with disadvantage.
Move here.
Yeah, I guess that didn't really move you any closer to him than you were before, so that's fine. Nim basically, or Dis just circles around the side of Wallace.
I will go for an attack.
Okay.
Fuck it. I'm gonna do it. Nim foresees that even feared and everything, that Dis will hit this next attack.
Okay. Last portent used. So the roll is an 18.
It was an 18 plus whatever the modifiers are.
So 26.
Okay.
Actually worked. That wouldn't have hit. I rolled an 11 and another 20 on disadvantage, so it would have been.
That disadvantage soaking up all the crits.
It's actually 2 now. All right.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm hitting. Okay. No, I still technically have disadvantage on myself. Roll this.
Yeah, the portent gave you the roll, but it didn't take away the disadvantage.
Minimum.
Oh, God.
6 damage.
6 damage, okay.
I'll end my turn. Or I'm going to take a dodge action.
Okay.
Wait, can I? Okay, so I think so.
Yeah, it just gives you a whole extra action. So.
Oh, actually, it specifies on the card
Yeah.
which actions you can use.
Oh, does it?
That's
Okay. That action can be used only to take an attack, a dash, disengage, hide, or use object.
Yeah, so there's no dodge.
So you can't dodge.
I'm gonna
But
hide.
you could use an object.
I'm gonna hide.
How are you hiding?
By being super stealthy and moving around.
by weaving in and out using the people beside me.
Okay.
I mean, he's levitating off. I'm a lot shorter than he is on there. I'm assuming with like my billions of dexterity, I'm literally a super assassin. So I'm going to use I'm just going to try to screw up his line of sight by using other people.
Okay. I'll let you do it. And he'll just do his perception check at the same time. So, or not perception check. There's always the chance he'll see you through the hide. So roll yourself.
Yeah.
Is that also? It's an ability check, so you'll be disadvantage.
Do I have anything that gives me advantage and stuff, though? Counter. Probably not right now. Disadvantage. That's a solid 13.
Okay. Well, I guess for the purpose of your attacks, I have to tell you whether or not he still sees you.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll wait till your turn to decide that. I know if he saw you hide or not right now.
Yeah. I'm, so the save, what's the save? Wisdom save?
Yes, wisdom save.
I should have regular on it, so that's like...
Are you within Lazarus?
Yeah,
that's why I
at this
moved
point?
there.
Yeah, you are.
20.
Yeah, you're fine.
Okay.
You've managed to shake off the fear of all these dead bodies ripping their way out of him. And now you realize that's not actually happening.
Okay.
Okay. Dis is no longer feared. Okay, Lazarus. That's your turn. Sorry, Dis, are you done?
I had to be.
Okay, I didn't want to strip away anything.
Well, I can't do anything.
You have a bonus action still.
No, but I mean,
But
it's
you-
technically at the end of
yes.
the turn total.
Yeah. So Lazarus, same deal. You're afraid you can end it on your end of your turn, but for now, you just can't move any closer.
Yeah, moving away doesn't really do anything for me either. There's nothing else I can really do. I can't, play Lazarus trying to get closer and catch his attention either.
No.
Y'all want me to just swing into him, see if I can and then try to break the fear? This is all I can do? I guess? That's not all I can do.
His fear is a pulse, like a thing that goes out. It doesn't require him to hold concentration on it.
No.
Okay. So-
No.
Alright.
Otherwise, he'd be red all the time.
That one. Okay, I guess I'll take a swing.
Okay, go ahead. So yeah, with disadvantage.
It's a miss. Probably also a miss. 15.
Miss. Not so much a miss as just your weapon bounces off his more muscular body now. He's become tougher, stronger than he was before.
The only bonus action I have is Tunnel Fighter, and then I guess I'll just make the save.
Okay, go ahead.
That's all I can do.
Wisdom save.
Yeah, 20.
Okay, you are also no longer afraid.
Yay.
Also, this follows the same rule as a lot of other fears, where even if he uses the effect again, you guys are both immune to it for 24 hours,
Okay.
as well as the other two in the party, because they successfully saved it the first time. So, right. Okay, that was Lazarus. Kenna.
Kenna is going to. I just saw you get hit really hard. He's only 5 feet up still.
Correct.
What?
No, I'm just thinking myself.
Cody was musing about your next.
About my next move. I'm going to summon animals.
Okay.
Conjure animals. So 4 at a half challenge rating. Oh. No. Well, I'm just, because a half challenge rating, their HP is so low, it's literally 1 hit from him and they'll be dead potentially. So I'm wondering if it's more beneficial to just do 2 at 1.
2 at 1 challenge, really?
I don't have a 5th level slot, but I can make it so I get double the amount.
But it depends on the likelihood, I guess, of them surviving 2 hits.
Yeah, because at least 4
Yeah.
will take 4 hits.
Yes.
Because if a 1 challenge rating is still going to blow up 1 hit.
Yep.
It's-
Go with what I originally said. 4 at a half.
4.5.
4 at a half.
Okay, let me just... I was pulling up the list of mobs. Okay, 4.5. Okay, I would say that'll give you 4 black bears, as we're fairly familiar with doing. Does anybody have the little... Can I borrow your little supplies? And where did you tell them to summon?
Around the creature.
Okay, so, with that in mind, the beast suddenly finds himself surrounded, well, not surrounded, but semi-surrounded by 4 black bears on his backside, because everybody else is kind of standing on his front side. Okay, so you say whatever you want to say to cast.
I don't know. Anonymous is what I usually say.
Right, anonymous.
Anonymous.
And roll where they are in the rotation.
Sorry, I'm pulling up their stats.
No, go ahead.
They're not going far.
Well, that's what we want.
That's what we want.
I know.
Yeah, you want them after you if you can
Plus
swing
their
it.
con, right?
No,
No,
Dex.
Dex. That's their Dex.
3.
3. They'll go after you.
Nice, free turn.
Bears with a 3. Which is perfect, because then they'll get to attack next. As long as you give them an order.
Oh yeah. Attack the
thing.
thing.
Okay. All right. So Kenna.
Attack the thing, and try to protect my companions.
Okay.
That's their key.
So Kenna, that's the end of your turn.
Yeah.
So
I get a bonus action.
Yep.
I get a bonus action. My unicorn
Oh, okay. Where do you put your unicorn?
in front of me.
Okay. So there is now a unicorn. And then I think he kind of like looks at like Wallace and is kind of like.
But does he see the muscles though?
Oh, he does. He does. But they're not good looking muscles. They're like muscles on a really big guy.
He's got the HGH gut.
It just doesn't look right, you know? It just looks wrong. Okay. So Kenna summoned her unicorn. It would now be the bear's turn. So we can go ahead with that.
So they all make 2 attacks.
Correct.
So
And you're keeping track of their HPs?
Yep.
Okay, good.
first guy hits nothing.
Okay.
Oh, and a crit fail. One of the bears.
Okay, we'll keep track of that. 1 crit fail.
So a 19.
Hit.
So I need to keep track of biting claws.
So that's what? 1 crit fail and 1 hit?
Yeah. Uh, 17?
Miss.
And 22.
Hit. So that's 2 hits, 1 crit fail?
Yeah.
Okay. Roll the crit fail first, because it happened first. So give me your D100. And they are... Was that a bite or a slash?
That one was
Oh, never mind. It doesn't matter for a fail. Go on, then.
39.
39. Okay. Okay, so that bear, whichever one it was,
Yeah.
it goes to slash at him, and because he's that 5 foot off the ground, it kind of overextends and just messes up its attack and ends up incapacitating itself for 1 round. So next round, it can't attack.
I think that was 1.
Yeah, fair one.
Yeah, bear 1 can't attack next round. And then you can roll the damage on the 2 hits.
Yeah. 6 for the bite.
Okay.
And then 10 for the claw.
Okay.
I max rolled twice.
Nice.
And that would be... Okay.
And it counts as magical, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
that's magic.
Yeah, so the bears all take swipes at him. One ends up just discombobulating himself and makes himself unable to act next turn. The other 3, they manage to land 2 of their attacks through his toughened body. And as you watch the claws and the bite sink in, you do notice that there doesn't seem to be that same resistance that Dis was feeling due to their magical claws. You also notice that Wallace himself very much kind of widens his eyes and starts kind of cranking his head that direction. Anything else from the bears?
All they can do.
Okay. Let's see if Wallace recharges. Okay. So Wallace kind of cranks his head to the side, looking at the bears and the fresh gashes on his backside, and you just kind of hear him, "Oh, that is not happening." And he puffs back up again and ejects that red light out. Everybody here is immune to it except the bears, so they have to roll wisdom saves.
There's 4 terrified bears just running around the room.
Also, I think the one that just incapacitated himself can't roll. Oh no, it just says he can't take actions or reactions, so he can still roll.
So 14, 14, 10, and a 5.
All of them fail. Okay, so those are terrified bears.
So, what does that do now?
It just means that when they attack and make ability checks, they have disadvantage, and they can no longer move any closer to Wallace. So if Wallace moves, they can't chase him, that kind of stuff. They can stay where they are, and you do have a spiritual connection to them, so I'm not saying like a regular dumb animal would probably just run,
Yeah,
but they are fey creatures and such and such.
We sure are.
Okay, so that's his eject, and then, yeah, he just kind of turns around and cracks his knuckles towards the bears, and he's gonna take some attacks against them.
Okay.
Let's see. Yeah, I think he's just gonna bite and claw into bear number 1. And then if he melee cleaves, that's great for him. If he doesn't, well, then a bear dies.
Okay.
Okay, bite is a 22.
I don't think that hits.
And actually, I suppose, because bite's pretty big, we'll do bite separately. Jesus, okay. I didn't realize at first how important it was that Dis dodged that bite. Because that turns out to be a pretty heavy attack. Is that 5? Yeah, that's 5.
They're dead. They're dead bear. He's a dead bear.
Jesus. Uh, 46.
He's super dead.
Okay, how much HP does the bear have?
25.
Actually, I can't really figure out how a bite would cleave. So we'll just say the bite kills the bear. Yeah, so he just turns around and kind of he does this weird thing where the rest of his body continues to face you guys, but he bends over backwards across his spine and bites the bear's head off.
Lovely.
And then he'll attack the other bear, because it's both claws happen at the same time. I'm just going to roll them both into the other bear.
Okay.
Plus, that's not as high a damage roll, so it might not matter as much. 29 and 18.
They both hit.
Okay. Oh, wow. Okay. 28 damage.
Dead.
But I assume just barely? No? Fine. How much HP does the bear have?
25.
Okay, yeah, I won't cleave 3 damage. That just seems unnecessary. Okay, so he, same position with his back bent all the way over, he just sort of grabs the bear and squeezes it to death. But that is the end of his turn unless he wants to move. He's not going to move. He feels pretty confident. But he does he snaps his head back up the right way and looks at Dis. He just goes, "All I want's the powder, Dis. This can all end. Don't make me have to kill you." And then that's the end of his turn. Which will take us to Nim.
Nimmer wants to cast spells out. It's a horrible idea.
Oh, actually, since that is technically one round, we'll take a quick break. We're right around that time, and I'm sure everybody could use the cigarette.
How weak does he look?
He's... how do I usually do this? He's not at half, but you could guess that he's lost about a quarter of his HP.
Wow, what a cliffhanger. I wonder what's going to happen next time. Seriously, guys, thanks for joining us. Thanks for listening in. If you liked what you heard, share us with your friends. If you hated what you heard, share us with your enemies. Seriously, though, like, comment, subscribe. We'd love to hear from you, and we'll find out what happens to Double Doubles and Dragons next time.